Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tabitha Servers, and today I'm showing you how I made my Liu Shouzue cosplay, aka the Raven Consort, from the Japanese anime uh, Raven of the Inner Palace. It's a beautiful anime. I'm also now reading the light novels for it. Uh, yes, it is another Chinese inspired historical show. Um, this time the clothing is a little different, so I get to try some new things. Uh, the first part I made was the undershirt, which is different from my normal undershirts. Uh, this undershirt is called I believe it's called Mo Shuang. I am not Chinese. I don't know how to pronounce things correctly, and I apologize. Uh, but it's just like a simple top. Usually they are found um, either strapless, where you tie it, or it's like a wraparound top and you tie it, or it's found with straps, and it's usually very loose fitting. Um, I ran into a lot of issues making this top. Uh, I was trying to make it a wraparound where it was strapless, and it just wasn't working out right. I couldn't get it to stay up. It wasn't going smoothly. So I decided to make mine with little tiny straps. And then I had it button up. Well, I put snaps in at the center back. Um, I would have done a zipper. However, sometimes it's very hard for me to undo a zipper when it's in the center back. Uh, so I decided to go with three large snaps. And with me wearing an overcoat, I wasn't too worried you're going to be noticing these snaps or the way it looks from the back. Um, I use this beautiful black fabric that has embroidered edging on one side that's finished uh, to do the strap on the top. Because when you look at these undershirts, the top kind of folds down and you kind of got like this collar look going on at the top of the top. I'll show a photo of what it looks like. Uh, so since I couldn't get it to do this fold because I wasn't tying it, I just faked it, and it came out pretty well. Um, I think yeah, this was just very difficult. Usually they have like a little pleat in the middle, but I was doing something different, so I didn't want to put a pleat, which is why I also needed this to be more form fitting than how these tops are usually made. They're very loose. They have that pleat in the center, so they're supposed to look like full and flowy. For mine, I was gonna machine embroider on it. So instead of putting a center pleat, I did put some darts um, going from the center back towards um, my bust line, uh, just to give it more of a shape to me instead of bulky. Because I didn't want to take away from the embroidering I was gonna do. Uh, like I said, it not my best work. I don't Not my best work when it comes to homebrew making. As you can see here, this was me attempting to make it a tie-on, and after a lot of test trial, I didn't like it. I hated it. So I would end up later changing it from a tie-up to putting snaps down the center, which is sad. I really wish that I could have gotten the authentic way to work. Um, I think the main reason is because I'm very flat chested and it was just sliding down. There was nothing to hold it in place. And I know there's ways to, you could get it to stay in place. I've seen people put like hot glue to make it, anti slip or adding some anti-slip strips to the inside, but I didn't. Here I'm working on my bodice, which was something I was attempting to do. I saw someone else do this and I thought I'd give it a go. I'm not sure how I like it. I mean, it looks good from a distance. Up close, I'm not too sure about it. But I use Wonder Under on a one side of a chiffon, and then on the other fabric, I used a satin fabric, and then I put glitter in between the two fabrics so that it would shine. Yes, I melted some of the chiffon. My bad. I forgot to check my settings, but I had overestimated this obi anyways. I call it an obi because I don't know what else to call it. It's not really a sash. I still don't know the term to call it. But it's the same method I use when I'm doing Japanese obis, fake ones. Uh, I do a tube and I put a stiff interfacing in between there. Uh, and then I check to see how thick it is compared to my waist, because sometimes I overshoot the width, and then I realize I need to make the width a little shorter. So that piece of chiffon that I accidentally melted, it got cut off. It's not noticeable. It's gone. Um, and then to go with this obi, like I said, I know it's not an obi, but that's what I'm calling it at the moment until I find the proper term. I used uh, I made too thin. I made a very long strip of gold fabric because she has this like little tie going on where like in the middle of her obi. So I just used this beautiful fabric that I had left over from the wedding hanfus I did years ago, and I like it. It just adds a little texture, and it's just so nice on how it looks when the light hits it. Um, the last part, not last part, but the last part I did not in this video, because the video was kind of edited weird. We had some issues, and I kept forgetting to film. But the last thing I did for this cosplay was make the jacket, and you guys see me make these jackets 100 times. Not 100 times, but it feels like 100 times. But it's the same method I do all the time to make these jackets. Um, I I can I'll link past videos on how I made this jacket. Um, but it's very similar. It's a reprocess, just with different fabric, different color combinations. Um, Super easy to make. I got it done in like a whole day, almost. Technically, I got it done in 2 days, but like if I, woke up and started, I would probably get done making one Hanfu jacket in one day. Um, the reason why this one took me a little longer to make was because of Raven Consort's jacket. She has uh, piping, gold piping that kind of edged the collar and the cuffs of the sleeve. So that took like a good while because it was a lot of piping. And I was actually really worried that I was going to run out of piping uh, to do this. Uh, all the fabric I bought, by the way, came from two locations. One was from uh, a craft store called, um, oh, I forgot its name. Um, it's a local fabric store. Uh, Jackman's fabrics. The fabric for the skirt came from there, and then the rest of the fabric came from Minerva.com, and I will link all the fabrics, well, except for the one from Jackman's, in the description below. And I use this beautiful jacquard fabric from uh, Minerva to do the collar and edgings of the sleeves. This linen is awesome. I don't know if it's a linen. I forgot what it's called. Um, I'll put it somewhere in the description below what it is. I think it's a linen. It's like a type of linen or a polyester linen from Minerva as well, and it's just so beautiful. It gave enough texture. I really was going for a lot of textured black since this costume is basically all black and gold. Um, it's just insane. And of course, as always, I'm using my lovely hidden stitch seam, uh, the hidden hem stitch, because I didn't want any top stitching. I swear I'm getting better at this to the point that I can go faster now. But I would recommend using this method slowly just to make sure you get the stitching done right. Um, Here you can see me putting on the piping that I mentioned earlier. That piping takes a while. I do have a piping foot. However, I can't seem to get it to work as nicely as some people that I know. So I'm using my invisible zipper foot. It works. It works. Not the best technique, but it works. And one of these days, I'll figure out how to get the piping foot to actually work. Um, but until then, I'll just keep using my invisible zipper foot, uh, which is another foot I recommend people to buy. You don't have to, but I recommend it. And I'm sorry that my hair is in a way. I've been trying to figure out the best way to film myself sewing, but I'm blind, so it's very hard for me to see what I'm doing. And I do have glasses. It's just my vision is so bad, and with it being black fabric, made it so much harder to see um, what I was doing. Uh, and also, I had to be careful because with it being with the piping, I didn't want to accidentally jam my needle, so I always had to double check to make sure everything was going well. Uh, I would have to say, well, as always, the the jacket is my favorite part of this costume, and I'm very excited to get it done and worked on. So I hope you guys like it. I haven't done any professional photos because I still have to work on the headpieces for this cosplay, which I think I'm going to do as a separate video from this. So you get to see me work on some jewelry and not sewing. So hopefully you guys will like that. I'm not 100% sure you will. Uh, but here is the finished project. Uh, you can see the embroidering done on it. I think it's really good. Uh, Here's some slow-mo just to see all the fine details. The skirt is not your normal skirt that you would see for Hanfu. It's called a Sanjuan Chun. Like I said, I'm not Chinese. I apologize if I butcher it. It's from the Song Dynasty. It doesn't have a lot of pleats. It's basically has three large box pleats, one down the center, two on the side. It does not make the skirt full. It makes it very slim. And then I added extra embroidering onto the fabric uh, to make it even nicer. So please enjoy.